We are going to review order of operations. So if you'll find that worksheet in your most recent packet, we will go over the instructions and then complete the odd problems. And then independently, you will complete the even problems yourself. Okay, order of operations is another word for PEMDAS. So we will complete our operations by following that procedure. Perform operations in parentheses. Evaluate numbers with exponents, that's squared, cubed, multiply or divide from left to right, and then add or subtract from left to right. So for example, you will see evaluating expressions 20 minus 5 times 6. So the first step that you need to do is multiply 5 times 6. What's 5 times 6? 30. So you'll see here it's 20 minus 30, which leaves with negative 10. The second one has exponents, which is where we are going first because we do not have parentheses. So it's just rewritten 12 times 3 plus 4 squared divided by 8 is rewritten as 12 times 3 plus 16 because 4 squared is 16 divided by 8. Then you multiplied 12 times 3, which leaves with 36. And left it with division, but we need to do that next. 16 divided by 8 is 2. That leaves us to add across 36 plus 2 is 38. Okay, and the last example that is given is C, which is 7 times 5 minus 3 plus 6 squared divided by negative 3. Now there's parentheses around that negative 3, but that's to indicate that it's negative 3, not subtract 3. Okay. So we do have parentheses first. We need to complete what's inside the parentheses first. So here we have 7 times 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. We're going to leave that parentheses because that's indicating that it's a negative 3. The next step would be exponent. Our exponent is here, 6 squared, or 6 times 6 is 36. Then we need to multiply. Remember when there's there's parentheses and there's numbers on inside and outside right next to each other, that's multiplying. So we have 7 times 2, which is 14. Then we need to divide 36 divided by negative 3. That's going to leave us with negative 12. Then we add across 14 plus negative 12. So you're subtracting, really, is 2. Okay. We are going to go through the odd numbers. And I'll remind you, it says check your answers at bigideasmath.com. I don't think you will be able to do that because you do not have logins for that. If you're able to pull up Desmos and use the scientific calculator, that may be easier. If you're not able to, that's fine. You again could use the app on your cell phone, or you can use a 4-function calculator. It'll just be a few more steps. So let's go ahead and start on number 1. For number 1, we can just start right in and put it into the calculator how it is written. 8 plus 2 times 5. Okay, 18. So if you did not have a Desmos calculator and you are completing it step by step, what are you doing first? Multiplying. 5 times 2. What is 5 times 2? 10. Then you're adding 8. So 10 plus 8, 18. Okay. Let's look at number 3. 5 times 4 squared divided by 8. Now this Desmos calculator has a little problem just putting all that in with the division, so we're going to do it step by step. The first step is 4 squared. 4 squared, or 4 times 4, is 16. Okay, so we're going to take that 16 and we're going to multiply because you do left to right. So 16 times 5, that gives us 80. The last step is to divide 16 times 5 again. It gives us 80. 80 divided by 8 equals 10, okay? So you'll see that in step by step. You start with your exponents. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 5, and then 80 divided by 8, that gives us 10. Now we will skip down to number 5, okay? Let's do this step by step. The numerator is 3 minus -9. Keep, change. Keep your first integer, change your order of operation, which will now be adding. Change your inequality to, or your integer, to positive. What's 3 plus 9? 12. Okay, so now we have 12 for the numerator. The denominator is -10 plus 6. -10 plus 6 is -4. So now I'm going to take these two numbers and divide. 12 divided by -4 equals -3. Okay, that's number 5. We'll go down to number 7. There are parentheses, there are exponents, there's dividing, and there's subtraction, okay? First step is parentheses with PEMDAS. What's inside of our parentheses? 12 minus 8. So let's do 12 minus 8. That leaves us with 4. What is 4 squared, or 4 times 4? Ooh, that did not go well. Okay, 4. Go here. 4 squared is 16. Okay. We need to do our next step before we can divide. We have 2 to the 5th power. So I'm using this a over b, or a to the b power. So you first put in your lower number, your 2, and then you're going to put your exponent in 5. So now I have 2 to the 5th power, which is 32. I need to divide across. Do not change which number comes first on this, okay? You need to do 16 divided by 32. That equals 0.5. What is 0.5 as a fraction? 1/2, okay? Let's go on to number 9. Okay, number 9, 32 divided by 8 plus 2 times 8 to the 2nd power. We don't have parentheses, so we will go to exponents. Our exponent is 8 to the 2nd power. 8 to the 2nd power is 64. We'll just write that to the side or above it. Then we need to go left to right. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. We need to go back here, times 2 times 64. $128. So we need to take this information out. Here we had 32 divided by 8, which was 4, plus whatever 2 times 8 to the squared was, and that was 128. So we need to take 4 plus 128 equals 132. All right, number 11. 11 has some things that are not addressed in your PEMDAS. So 11 reads 36 divided by, parentheses, 1 minus the absolute value of 2 minus 7. Okay, so what we're going to do first is what's in the parentheses, but we need to start with what's in this absolute value. Okay, so start with what's inside. Start with 2 minus 7 is -5. But when something comes outside of the absolute value, it is that value of it. It is not a negative number, it is always a positive number. So the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Okay? So that leaves us with 1 minus 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Okay, so then we can go back to 36 divided by negative 4. Okay, 36 divided by negative 4 is negative 9. Okay, took a different way that we previously have done those. And just remember, absolute value is what is that worth completely. Okay, number 13, 4 times 3 plus 8 minus 8 squared divided by 32. Going to take a few different steps to get there, so we need to first start with parentheses. 3 plus 8, 11. We need to multiply that times whatever's on the outside, so 11 times, here we have 4, is 44. I just write that above that. We know that one is 44. Let's now complete the 8 squared. 8 times 8 is 64. Okay. We need to do the division next because division goes before subtraction. So we have 64 divided by 32. Gosh, sorry. Let's try it again. 64 divided by 32. That's 2. Okay. So we know we can write 2 above all this. So we really have 44 minus 2. 44 minus 2, 42. Okay. And the last one we'll do together is 15. Okay, this one also has a few steps. 15 reads 2 minus 5 squared minus 4 times 5 squared. So we have exponents and we have parentheses and we have subtraction. So we're going to take it step by step. We have to do parentheses first. So let's start here. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And complete that exponent. Negative 3 squared. Negative times a negative is a positive. I need to put the parentheses in there. Negative 3 squared, let's try that again, is 9. Okay? So we can write 9 right underneath, and then we need to go to this section. 4 times 5 squared. Well, we need to start with 5 squared before we do 4 times anything. So 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4, 100. Okay. So now we have 9 minus 100. Negative 91. Okay. So use these to complete the even ones on this page. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or email back, and then there will be one more video to complete out algebra.